Hello bros and welcome to Effect Zero BroFive production. Next part, the Sakura MMO 2. So going right here. So the witch showed this over Larry, and I suppose it's melting her clothes. At least it looked like it. What happens next seems to occur in slow motion. Larry yawns in alarm as the sticky fluid spreads all over her body. As soon as the oddly colored liquid makes contact with her clothes, a disturbing hissing sound fills the air. What's going on? Now this is interesting. I watch a dumbfounded as Gardenia's strange process slowly begins to eat through Larry's attire. The fabric of her skirt frays and holds open in her black gloves. Now even Larry's chest plate, which is made of steel, is free from the ravage of this potion. The metal begins to burnish and turn black, and then starts dripping like melting candle wax. In under less than 5 seconds, Larry's clothes have been reduced to nothing more than scraps. Every single part of her outfit that the potion came in contact with has melted away, exposing her bare skin underneath. What's the big idea? Larry tries to shield her breast with her arms. Her face is burning almost red as her hair. Why would you throw a potion like that over me? And why? Her lower lip trembles. Why did you make a potion that dissolves clothes in the first place? Well, why not? I thought it would be funny, and it is. You. Larry glares at the wish. Her expression would be quite fearsome were it not for her bright red cheeks and her trembling legs. You're a terrible person. I can't believe I ever trusted you. You might be surprised, but I get that a lot. Don't sound so gleeful, you jerk. I get that a lot too. In fact, as far as insults go, that's one of the more child-friendly ones. Yeah. Whoa, Larry's wearing even less than usual. I usually do. And that's saying something. It's true. It isn't true choice. Well, at least you know how I felt when I was being mauled by that slime. Revenge sure is sweet. Why do you want to get revenge on me? I didn't do anything to you. I don't know what to do. Well, I'm gonna tell her she looks cute. Personally, I think you look rather cute. I thought my compliment might help lighten Larry's mood, but to my disappointment, I'm not supposed to be cute. I'm a knight. I'm a proud, brave knight. Being seen like this is such a shameful state in front of so many people. It is so embarrassing. I want to die. After that, the bad girl with the potion and her clothes are almost completely melted. Neve tries to fix the remaining rags with her magical power, but the Larry's clothes are too damaged for magic to make a meaningful difference. In the end, Neve has to conjure up a perfect replica of Larry's old clothes out of thin air, which is more taxing than one might imagine. Larry dresses herself, her fingers trembling, and thanks Neve silently for her help. This incident over and done with, the four of us sit down in the witch house and wait to hear her explanation. So, I'm curious. Why did you summon us here? How do you know who we really are? I already told you, it's my duty to know everything. That's not very helpful. Ella sounds calmer than she did about 5 minutes ago, but she still can't bring herself to look the witch in the eye. I guess having her clothes melted off her body gave her quite the shock. You might know everything about Asia, but how do you know about Japan? How do you know my real name? What is about Japan? You said a weird name before, but I ain't ever heard of it. Me neither, though I beg that you will forgive my ignorance. Is Japan somewhere in Asia? Could it perhaps be a distant land that few have traveled to? Well, distant would be the right word. Try a completely different plane of existence. Oh my. Thought you've been living in Asia for over a month, Viola. Could it be that you're yet to tell your two companions about your true identity? Have you been keeping them in the dark? What are you talking about? I know who my lady is. She is the dog witch Viola, and I've been happily serving her for 2 years now. That's right. She might lied about who she was to me at the very start, but I got no doubts she's Viola now. Only a dog witch would bully a cute girl like me so crudely. My. Gardenia's mouth goes wider and wider. So it seems that you haven't told them after all. So now, so that's no way to repay you, beloved maid, for all her years of service, and you really should be kinder to your pets. Yeah, that's Freyon frowns. Right. She blinks and then, hey, I ain't Viola's stinking pet. Hey, how charming. I quite like this girl. She's very feisty. It only makes your deception even more despicable, Viola. I ain't been deceived as a thief. I'm the one who does the deceiving. Fion's right. My lady may have a poor reputation as but she has been nothing but kind and considerate towards me. I refuse to believe that she has been keeping any secrets from me. Oh, but she has. That's most terrible thing. And where is your proof? You're forgetting I know everything. Ferreting out of all these dark secrets is my job. Don't be ridiculous. My lady doesn't have any dark secrets, and even if she did, she would keep them from me. Living in this shack in the middle of the forest must be lonely. That's why you invited all these lies. You just want us to pay you some attention. Well, I shan't be falling for it. I refuse to sit here and let anybody slander my lady. Eve gets to her feet, her tail twitching in irritation. Shall we go? If we hurry, we should be able to return home before nightfall. Now, I wouldn't be so hasty if I were you, Miss Maid. If what I'm saying really is nonsense, then why is Viola not try to refute my claims? Because my lady has better things to do than rebuff the foolish on the substantive words of a charlatan like yourself. You're beneath her. Now we should depart. Wait, Neve. I take a hold of my maid's arm, my fingers tighten around her wrist, wrenching her in place. Don't go just yet. My lady, you can't be taking her seriously, can you? I pause. For once my words are stuck in my throat, and I don't know what to say. The witch is right, though. I hate to admit it, but I've been keeping my real identity a secret for Neve. I'm not really the great witch Viola, and I'm not really from Aspa. I'm just a normal human girl. Cotone. I didn't tell Neve about my true identity. I thought there was little point. I imagined there was no way she would find out, and anyway, being honest would only trouble her. Who wants to be told that the world is, as she known, is nothing more than a game or a mere distraction in another reality? I kept quiet, telling myself it was for Neve's sake, but maybe I was being selfish. The witch has a point. I should have told her sooner. Neve, as my most stalwart supporter, deserves to know more than anybody else. It might be difficult to tell her, but... Well, are you going to break the news to her, or should I? You don't need to trouble yourself. You caused more than enough damage already. I will tell her it's my responsibility as her mistress. My lady, that witch isn't right, is she? You haven't been hiding something from me, have you? There's a long, awkward silence. My fingers still fastened around Neve's wrist grip a little more tightly. Perhaps part of me is afraid that if I let her go, she might disappear altogether. Would Neve leave me if she knew the truth? I don't think she would, but I'm not entirely sure. She'd be confused, shocked, and hurt that I didn't confine her earlier. But if I take my time, I should be able to make her understand. I hope I can, at least. To be perfectly honest, I hardly understand this situation myself. The witch is correct. No. It's true, I wasn't born in Aspen, neither was Larry. We come from a different world that you and Theon. We were born in a country called Japan. And my real name is Viola. It isn't Viola, it's Kotone. Then I launch into a long explanation. I tell Neve and Theon all things I kept secret from the humdrum days in Tokyo to my fondness for playing Aspen Online. I tell them about creating my character, Viola, completing quests and accumulating enough in-game currency to buy the Nightmare Citadel. I don't tell Neve that she's an NPC that I created to give me a bit of extra inventory space. I think that would upset her, but I tell them everything else. I tell them that I've already been to Roseberry Forest, Houghton Market and the city of Linton, but it was all a fantasy to me, a fiction. A game. Tell them about falling asleep while playing Aspen Online one night. It seemed like any other night at first, until I woke in an unfamiliar bedroom wearing unfamiliar clothes attended by an unfamiliar maid. That was unique. Though it took me a few moments to realize where I was. Somehow my body had been transported into the Nightmare Citadel, which I had bought and furnished inside Aspen Online. I was no longer Kotone, but Viola, and I decided to live as I imagined she would. That's the truth, and that's how I got here. Silence descends. The witch is smiling smugly, no doubt amused by the shocking revelation. If she lived in Japan, I find myself thinking bitterly she'd be the kind of person constantly checking social media for new drama and making inflammatory videos online trying to tarnish the reputation of various celebrities. As I thought, she really is an obnoxious person. Neve, are you alright? I look at my maid hesitantly. She is standing in place like a statue, and she doesn't move even after I wave my fingers in front of her face. She doesn't speak. She doesn't blink. She doesn't do anything. She just stands there, existing. The witch giggles. It looked like your little maid had quite a nasty shock. I know telling her the truth would alarm her. That's why I wanted to keep it a secret. So you did it for Neve's sake. How admirable. And silly old me thought you were being selfish, trying to live your new life with as few problems as possible. Ugh. I grit my teeth together. Of course the witch words have a grain of truth to them, but that only makes them sting more. While I glare, directing the full force of my hatred upon this louse of a woman, Neve finally stirs. She sits back down, but she still doesn't talk. She doesn't even look at me. I think she might need a few moments to gather her thoughts. And whose fault is that exactly? The witch brushes my comments aside with a wave of the hand. Well, now we are all here, I might as well tell you how you came to be summoned into the world of Aspen. Are you listening? I am listening. We have to listen. We don't have any other choice. And what about you, Theon? I don't know. This is a lot to wrap my head around. I ain't never heard of computers before, or video games, or Aspen Online, but from what it sounds like, you're from a different... This is all my way too confusing. I have no idea what's going on. I've never been very small, but this would be way too much for anyone to handle. Then don't worry about it too much. It's for you to say. How Viola and Elaine came to Aspa is not only important, but it's vital for the finer details about how one their own world, which is entirely separate from Aspa. What matters is why they were brought here. And this will impact every single one of you. Oh goody, I can hardly wait. I thought you said you'd say that. The witch giggles. Now, this is quite a complex story. Another one, I'm still reeling from the last reveal. And that's why I try to make things brief. I'm sure you're already aware I'm a very powerful witch. I know almost everything that is happening in Aspa, as is my duty. Yeah, you already said, can you stop boasting and get to the point? Oh my, I wasn't trying to boast, I was merely informing you that whether you like me or not, my words are true, and no desire to deceive or trick you. You see, around 3 months ago, when I was trying to sleep, I had a most horrible dream. It was like a prophecy, really. I have them sometimes. It is a blessing, or perhaps you could call it a curse, which was bestowed upon me at birth. As you may know, I was a normal child born from two human parents, yet I, for some bizarre reason, had access to immense magical power most people do not. I was tutored by the goddess themselves, and by using my magical abilities to the fullest, I have been able to survive for hundreds of years. My vision have never failed me before, and I fear that I saw 3 months ago will come to pass, nothing done to stop it. And what did you see in your vision exactly? Oh, it was horrible. As far as we know, it was in ruins, all the greenery had been burnt away, and the earth was dry and arid. Everything was destroyed, and no trees or plants would grow. And as for all the people, yes, what happened to them? They were dead. Dead? Everyone? Without exception. So what is gonna happen? Is Aspa really gonna be destroyed? Like I said, my prophecies always come true. But it hasn't been destroyed yet. It's still alive, and so everybody else. The trees are still growing, and the grass is still green, and the sky is bright and blue. For now, at least. But soon, very soon, this will all change. The evil goddess, Iona, will soon escape from the underworld, where she has been banished for more than 1,000 years to take revenge on mankind. Huh? No way. The evil goddess is really real. Indeed, she is as real as you or I, and she has been waiting for many, many centuries for a chance to extract her vengeance. Now it seems that time has finally come. Iona. Fiona repeats the name of the evil goddess, which I frown. I always thought she was a character in the storybooks. My sister told me about her when I was a kid. She said it would, if I didn't sleep like a good girl, I'd be taken away to the underworld by her. I was scared of Iona when I was a kid, but I never thought about her in ages. That is perfectly normal. Those who know about Iona regard her as a little more than a scary story. But she is real. The tree she poses to Aspa is insummable. Iona. I know a little about her too. According to the lore of Aspa Line, Iona was one of the goddesses who first created the world. After disagreement with all her fellow god and lover, Arion, she was banished to the underworld. While stewing in the underworld, the goddess, who became half mad with rage, vowed she would destroy the world she has helped to create through any means possible. The legends say that Iona was a darkling while Arion was a human, Darklings were created by Ona in her image, while Aaron created the humans. That's why Darklings are so widely discriminated against in Aspa, and that's why humans distrust them so much. But that's not really important right now. So the fallen goddess is going to return to Aspa. That's right. I don't know exactly when or how, but I know it will happen. It's only a matter of time. And that's why Larry and I were summoned to Aspa. Indeed. I'm glad you catch on so quickly. You really are a smart girl. Bringing you here was a good decision on my part. You already accomplished so much more than all the other so-called heroes who answered my call. Does that mean you're the one who summoned us here? With my magic, it was rather a tricky spell, but I got it right in the end. Being trained by a goddess has its perks. And you brought me here so I could defeat Iona? That was the general idea, yes. I summoned dozens of humans to Aspa for this very reason. Humans who were expectantly talented in the online game, Aspa Online, which just so happens to have a few striking similarities to the real land of Aspa. It's funny how these things work out, isn't it? But before I told you any of you heroes about the evil goddess or enlisted your service, I wanted to test you. You may have been a brave hero in the safe, dignitized world of Aspa Online, but how would you fare in the real Aspa? Would you be strong enough to defeat the goddess? That was what I wanted to know. And so after summoning you here, I watched you from the shadows. I thought a month would be enough time, give or take, to assess your abilities. But oh my, some of you were very disappointing. Many of the brave heroes I summoned here died within days. They were defeated by monsters or thieves or simply gave up. One or two, unable to get back home, even took their own lives. No, that can't be. These people you brought to Aspa, they really died. Isn't that what I said? But what happens when people summoned to Aspa from the other worlds die? Do they return to their own world or they die naturally? Then, that's what death is, whether you're in Aspa or Japan. I might be a powerful witch, but not even I can bring people back from the dead. But what happened? And what about their parents, their families? That isn't any of my concern. But you're the one who brought them here. You wanted them to fight to protect Aspa, and they died because of you. Now that isn't very nice. They didn't die because of me. They died because they weren't strong enough. It isn't a good thing I never asked those fools to fight Iona. They never would have been able to do it. How can you sit there and say that so calmly? These are people's lives we're talking about. They were normal people living normal lives until you destroyed that. You destroyed everything. I appreciate your sense of justice, but I think you're being a bit melodramatic there. I'm doing what I have to do in order to save Aspa. The legends say that those who hail from Aspa cannot defeat Iona, for she helped create this world, and when the time was first beginning, it isn't possible. That's why I need to summon people from another world to fight her. A few people did die along the way, and it's sad, but what are 6 or 7 lives when stacked against the lives of everyone in Aspa? I'm doing this because I want to save the world. It is my duty as the witch strong enough to make a difference. I don't want people to die, but some sacrifices have to be made. And what about me and Viola? Do you want to sacrifice us too? Oh no, you are different to the others. You managed to make a name for yourself in Aspa as heroes. And you defeated so many strong enemies already. If anybody can defeat the evil goddess and bring peace to the world, I'm sure you can. And if we can't, then you die like the fallen companions, so will everybody else. and then I never be able to go back home. Not if the goddess defeats you, but if you can surpass the odds and defeat her, then what? I reversed the spell and that brought you and Viola here and send you back home. We can go back home. We can go back. Of course, it's well within my power, but that's if and only if you defeat the evil goddess. I'm not sure how much longer you have, but I speculate we have at least another 2 weeks until the goddess regains her full power. Only 2, maybe even less. You might want to hurry, the fate of the world hangs in the balance. I sat there for a moment, stunned into silence. Finally I know what I know why I was brought to Aspa. I know what I must do. I must defeat the evil goddess Iona. It sounds ridiculous, but the witch sounded unusually serious when relaying this information. I have no doubt that she is telling the truth. In 2 weeks or less, the goddess will be reborn and Aspa will be reduced to ashes. We have to defeat her to save the world. And if we fail, we'll die. Everyone will die. It's a tall order, but, well, I've never been one to back down from a challenge. I cleared every single question asked by 9 dozen times and I never had any problems. I was hoping an interesting challenge would come along. And this sounds just difficult enough to keep me entertained. Yes, I like the defiant attitude. I know you could do it. You really are the best hero for the job. But I do have one question. I have many questions actually, but this one is the most pressing. How will we be able to find the goddess? Now that is a rather complex. The goddess has been sealed away in the underworld, and not even I know how to get there. I thought you were meant to know everything. I know most things, but the entrance to the underworld is well kept secret. I know only to those chosen few. If you want to find the goddess, then you need to make a voyage. A voyage? A journey by boat to the distant Crescent Island. There you should find the Forbidden Library whose books contain all the knowledge in the world. If you go there, you will be able to learn where the entrance to the underworld is. How to defeat Iona. It will not be an easy journey, for Crescent Island is guarded by the gods, but you can't let that frighten you. You must go there as soon as possible and without delay. It's the only way you'll be able to win, and the only way you can save Aspa from its doomed fate. After a meeting with the mysterious witch, my party returned to the Nightmare Citadel. It takes a long time for us to wend our way through the forest on foot, and it's pitch black when we finally return. The moon is hanging in the sky around celestial orb, and the stars are twinkling. The walk back through the woods was not unpleasant exactly, but it was rather awkward. None of us said very much. Elea was lost in her thoughts, probably about Japan. Neve kept glaring at me as though she had something to say, but she never came out and said it. Instead, she closed her mouth with a defeated sigh. She probably feels upset, and I can't say I blame her. Neve been nothing but loyal and devoted to me this whole time, and I repaid her by lying to her. That must sting. Theon tried to cheer us up by telling silly jokes, but Hilaria and Neve ignored her. After being rebuffed so many times, Theon stopped lounging around and silence overtook us. It was a slow, quiet, dreary sort of march. Upon returning home, Neve retreats to her bedroom with a muted good night. She far quieter than usual, and I think she wants to spend some time alone. Theon took scurries away in the kitchen, searching for a midnight snack perhaps, maybe eating her way of dealing with stress. And as for Larry, why did you follow me out here? Nightly she goes to the dark, thick forest that lines the citadel, sword clutched tightly in her hand. I think she means to do some training. When isn't she training? But she pauses when she hears my footsteps. Hilary sheathes her sword, its silver point glimmering in moonlight, and glances at me. Is there something you want? Nothing in peculiar. I was just wondering why you enjoy spending time in the forest so much. It's too dark and depressing in here, particularly at the night. Aren't you worried you trip and fall over a tree root? I'm not that clumsy. Only when you're sparring against me. That isn't my fault. Hilary glances away, her cheeks tinged pale pink. You don't play fair. On the contrary, I think you're far too fair for your own good. I can't help it. That's just how I am. I don't believe telling lies or deceiving others. That doesn't seem right. A victory should count unless it was won properly. That's very noble indeed, but you know the real world doesn't work like that. Honor and justice are virtues that are rarely rewarded. Yes, I know that. Hilary sighed softly and her head hanging. A gentle breeze runs through the trees. It makes the branches shiver as though singing, and carries Hilary's red hair so it flutters. I frowned. Aren't you going to train them? I was, but all of a sudden I don't feel up to it. That's unusual for you. You always follow your routine, no matter what happens, like clockwork. I was like that when I lived in Japan too. I never divided for my schedule, just like a machine. Hilary sighs again. The sound is very soft and hardly audible. So much has happened today, it's hard to process it. And what the witch said is true. Then all we need to do is defeat this evil goddess, and then we can return home. You say all we need to do, but I never fought a goddess before. It might be tricky, even for me. Heh, you might have a point. Still, when I first arrived in Aspa, I had no idea what I would get back home. I had no idea at all. I felt so lost. Now, however, since I met you in Motea, I've been some kind of goal, a path, a plan. It feels like I'm working towards something, even if I don't quite know what that something is. You give me hope. Finally, after all this time, our hard work is starting to bear fruit. We have the chance to return home at long last, and yet, Hilary's voice trails off. Now I don't know how to feel. Are you having second thoughts? I don't know. I like playing Aspa Online when it was just a game separate from my real life. It was a nice way to relax and pass the time. Now it's far too real. Aspa is much more dangerous than Japan. There are monsters here and werewolves, and there are chances I really might get killed. Just like the other people were summoned here. The people I never met. I suppose I should have known that Gardenia's remarkable words would upset Hilary. Truth be told, the thought that the others were summoned to Aspa really did die upset me too. It makes me realize just how lucky we've been. If I didn't have Neve or my castle or my magic artifacts, I might have been in real danger. I've been treating my life in Aspa thus far as nothing more than a romp. But it's more serious than that than I ever imagined. I could have died. Hilary, who was ambushed by thieves during her first night here, came far closer to death than I did. That's probably why she wants to return home so fervently. She knows that it's just isn't safe here. She doesn't want to die in a strange fantasy world separate from her friends and her family. That kind of ending would be far too sad. I want to go home. I do, but it feels so sudden. Helena smiles an awkward, self-effacing smile that doesn't reach her eyes and shakes her head. Listen to me, I just sound so foolish. I wanted to leave Aspa the moment I got here, but now the opportunity has finally arisen. I almost feel afraid. You're afraid to go back? Japan might not be full of monsters, but I didn't have much fun when I lived there. I had to work hard every single day, and I lived all alone, and I was always in a hurry. It felt like I could never rest. I was only able to relax when I was lost in the world of Aspa. Online. It was the only time I was happy. Sometimes I used to think I might have a better life if I could live in Aspa and truly be Larry. But when my wish was granted, I was terrified. The unknown has always scared me. That's why I always stick to routines. I wanted to go back to home desperately. I was like a lost little girl. I thought I would never be used to Aspa, but I've been here for over a month now, and it's almost begun to feel like a home to me. It was scary being on my own, but then I met you and Neve and Theon. We don't always get along, but I'm appreciative of your company, and if it's not too presumptuous of me, I would like to call you friends. You're all dear to me, just as Aspa has become dear to me. And now I'm starting to think maybe I don't want to go home after all. My home should be with the people who cares for me, who accept me, and who make me happy. Claire laughs awkwardly and runs a hand through her hair. That probably sounds a little corny. I think it sounds a lot corny, actually. I know you make fun of me. It's what I do best. Here I am opening my heart to you, telling you all these things, and I've never told anybody else, and you're laughing at me. You really are cute, cruel. But you still think I'm me as a friend? Yes, well, I'm not sure how that happened. It just happened. Could it be because my unfueling charm and charisma? You wish. Then my sexy body? Your body has nothing to do with anything. But even if you annoy me and you make me mad, I still like you. And I don't know why. Maybe it's because I've had so few friends in my life that I've grown desperate. She shakes her head. Well, whatever it is, I know that I don't want to leave you. You don't? No. That will probably sound presumptuous of me, or foolish. You might even laugh, but no matter what happens. Helena bites her lower lip. The foolish, hard-heated knight is very good at expressing her feelings. But at least she's trying. She's doing her best. Says whatever you want about Helena, but she always does her best. I don't want you to leave me. Say that you won't, please. Say that you continue to be my friend no matter what. Larry. My eyes soften. I take a step towards the knight and then another. The heels of my boots crunches the twigs and leaves on the foot, but I pay little heed. I rest her fingers against her shoulders, revealing in the warmth of her body. Helena is about the same height as me. She might be an inch or two taller, in fact, but she never seemed more delicate. She laid her true emotions bare to me at last. She's finally being honest, not only with herself, but with me. That deserves some credit, at least. I don't know what will happen in the future, but Even if we do go back to Japan, I could never forget about you. It isn't possible. Do you mean that? That's right. I want to stay with you too. You're far too much fun to tease. I don't want to let you go. Jeez, try to be a little serious. Why don't you? But I am being serious. Your pouting face always makes me happy. And that's why I want us to stay together. We can be friends. Or even something more. But no matter what happens, I'm going to let you go. Didn't you know? I'm rather possessive of my toys. And that's the picture. Stop the recording. So that was all I have for Sakura MMO 2 this time. So hit like and subscribe. See you next time. BroFive!